Okay, so Panda-Frog is having a giveaway going on, and he wants us to pick the first lock we got in 2021. Unfortunately, I'm not exactly sure which one it was. So here is the Avis 55 series that I picked up this year in 2021. He has the hashtag Panda or Panda-Frog 21 Jan. It'll be in the title. And so I'm going to go through these. These are basically all the ones in the 55 series, except for the ones with different shackle heights and maybe marine ones or different things, but all the different widths that they have. So I'll talk about them as I open them. So first one is the 5525, which is if you're doing the LPU Lockpickers United belt flare, like the trying to get a belt, then on the belt ranking list they have the 5540, which is an orange belt, and that counts for anything that's this size and up. So it'll count for these 4 locks. These 2 are smaller than the 5540, and as such they only count for white belts unless we were to some reason rank one of these as yellow, but they're not on the list, so they are white belt level locks. So this one is the 5525, and it is a 3-pin lock. There's the key. So we'll go ahead and pick this. I'll do it in a vise, just keeps things in the frame better. So put that there, I guess. Yeah, I think that'll work. All right, so this one should be pretty simple, 3 pins. The biggest trouble you'll face here is crowding in that keyway. So I'm using top of keyway tension. And then, actually, let me see where the warding is. There. Check how you're pushing the pins so you're not pushing on warding. And then look for the binder. It feels like number 2 is binding. And it's open already. So we can see there it's open. Now that was simple because looking at this, it looks like pin 1 looks like a no lift. 3 might need a touch, but probably was no lift as well, and I only needed to lift pin 2. So that one was pretty easy, not keeping anybody out of anything. The next one is this Avis 5530. What was it? Is this a 3-pin as well? Let's see. 1, 2. It looks like 3-pin as well. So because the reason that this is simpler than this is because it's smaller, so they can only fit 3 pins in there, whereas this one I think has 4 pins. Where the orange belt level starts. So this one is, again, I think a 3-pin, and I think this one I can fit a bit fatter tensioner in, so yep. So I'll give that a try. And again, I think it's only 3 pins, so you feel for any binders. And make sure you're not hitting warding while you're at it. All right, I got a false set on this one, so this one has some sort of security pins. That was after lifting the first one. And you'll notice in these Avis, if they have security pins, once you lift that first pin, you'll then be dealing with spools after that. So what I'm going to do, I got click from number 3. Let me tighten up this a little bit better. Click from number 3, it seems. And then I'm going to feel for like some sort of counter rotation. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that. So as I push on 3, my tensioner is moving back. So I'll go ahead and let go of some tension there. And I got click from 3, but now it didn't open. So let's go back to number 1 and push that up and get our false set back. So number 1 dropped back down when we pushed up on 3. So now the only one that I haven't done yet is 2. And there we got that counter rotation again. So I'll let it drop back. And I got 2 up, make sure 3's still up. And I'm guessing 1, the standard pin dropped down again when I did that. So I'll lift number 1. And we got her open. It's kind of the similar thing. You're going to go through all of them. So let's go on to the 5540. So this one, we're entering into the 4-pin area. So there's that guy. Put him up in here. Actually, I'm going to make him touch the bottom. That might help with the movement I was feeling on that last one. Okay, and I'm just using this thin hook number 1. I could probably use a much fatter one, but since I didn't bring a lot of picks out with me. I figure I'll just go with some thin ones. And you can see I can feel from the back like this, but I know in these that if I set the first one, if I can get to it, I didn't bring my glasses down. I should have remembered my glasses. All right, so then I got my force set from setting that first pin like I thought I would. So then I can go through and push up on some warding and things like that. All right, seems like I got some counter rotation here, but I feel like I'm on either multiple pins or I'm dealing with like pin chamber warding. So this might not be the most ideal pick for this. And I go back to pick pin number 1, like that. Look for another one in the back. And you don't have to keep going back to pin 1, but you could just look for the next spool, but it won't be binding like a normal binder then. Maybe I'll do that in one of the locks. So somewhere at the back there, and then a little click up there, and then I'll go back to pin 1, if I can find it, if I haven't overset everything. I might have overset everything because it feels a bit springy. I'll go ahead and grab this other hook here to because the hook number 1 seemed to be having a hard time going on a single pin and whatnot. All right, so it feels like we have some sort of overset here because everything is kind of springy and not so good. So what you can do, let off the tension until you hear something drop like that, and hopefully that'll be your overset pin unless you had more than one overset. And it could have been, as I was hunting, I overset another one, so let's go ahead and get that second drop. I mean, for a simple lock like this, I'd probably just drop it all and start over, but I want to demonstrate how you might recover if you had made a lot of progress or something like that, right? Drop. Okay, got more of a drop in the back there. So let's see what we got. All right, first pin is binding. So I'll go ahead and lift that up. Okay, so there we go. It's a little bit harder to lift with this hook. And I got a little guy in the back. So I'm going to let off some tension, and that will allow me to detect this counter rotation easier. You see that? If I keep the tension high, I can push on it. It just feels like it's warding or it feels like it's stuck. But if I let off the tension, I can get some counter rotation like that. So I'll let that counter rotate. And to get a little more control, you can grab this tensioner with 2 fingers like this and kind of guide it to where you want it so that you don't drop anything while you're at it. So that's the click up on number 2 towards the front, I think, or number 1. Not sure which. And now I look for the next guy that's kind of binding. Sorry, you're hearing all these clicks. It's either warding or... All right, so number 1 is binding just slightly. So I'll lift that up. And now it's binding harder. And we got her open. So that, you know, we went through a long time talking about that. It shouldn't take you that long to open something like this. Well, maybe it does. I don't know. All right, so that's the 40. So here's the 45. I don't know why it has red paint. It has a little warning on the back on this one. Most of them just have the ABIS on both sides. So this is the 55-45. Give this a go. Oh, let's try this actually. Let's try the key. So that's open. Let that back up. I've never had a guitar pickup on this particular top to my vise, so I don't know how that's going to work on the rubber, but we'll see. All right, so this one again, what you could do if you don't know how many pins, you go through and you go, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 4 pins in there. Go ahead and get some pick pressure on here. And I'll start towards the back of this one. Let's see if I feel anything. So using a decent amount of pressure, sometimes you can get something in the back, some feeling here. So I got a click from number 3. It wasn't quite binding, but only because I know that there are spools in this lock, I went ahead and, even though this one's got springiness, I can assume maybe it's a spool, and I just clicked right through that spool. And now when I get to the first one and click this up, if I'm pushing on the, now I got my false set there, but hopefully pins 2 and 3, which were spools, are already past the spool part, so I don't need to get the counter rotation off of those. Only number 4 right now you can see is counter rotating. So I'll go ahead and, if I can get on him, I'll try to get him set. There we go, and then I'll come back to number 1 and lift on it. Oh, got my false set, so maybe I didn't get 2 and 3 like I thought I did. So let's go ahead and feel for anybody to give me counter rotation. Oh, number 1. I think this might be number 1. Okay, and we're open. Maybe it was number 2. I don't know. There we go. There's the 5545, 5550. Hopefully it's not too boring because these are all very similar. They're all 55 series locks, right? And I should always try these before I put them in here. So there's him open. Close them back up again. Looking at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so now we're long enough. We're big enough to get 5 pin locks now, right? So each additional pin should make the difficulty go up more than, it's from 4 to 5 is more than a 1/4 increment, I think, in difficulty. It's almost doubling each time. If I want to see something, I'm using hook 1. All right, let's see. So I'm going to go ahead and try to preset some of these spools by clicking on them in the back like that. Get the hook so I can do a little bit higher reaches, especially as I get towards the front. And push on that first guy. All right, got our false set from pushing the first guy as expected. And then I'll start at the back. The last one, are you giving me counter rotation? Okay, it did give me a little counter rotation. I got it. Looks like I didn't lose my false set, so I don't have to go back to number 1 again. Some of these sound kind of messy when I do them. Go to the back again, see. I think that's 5, 4. All right, 4. Seemed like it was giving me counter. Yep. All right, click up for 4, but I don't know, that felt really high, like an overset or something actually. But I'm in a false set, so that's generally a good sign that you're not in an overset if you drop back into the false set. Let's see. I'm having a little bit hard time figuring out my pins. All right, pin 5. There we go. I thought I had set that guy before. Maybe I let him drop. Pin 4. Okay. Oh, something up near the front. Maybe that's just a key pin that fell down. Go back to the back. Oh, look at this. So even the easier locks, they can give you a little fight, you know, for a little bit. No. Is that pin 1? Where's that wording there? That's 1. Must be 2. Yep, 2. Okay, so there's the 5-pin 5550. And now the biggest one, the 5560. Oh, right there. Okay, 5560. So I'm guessing that this is going to be another 5-pin. I don't think it's 6-pin. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And even though I'm looking at the bitting, you can see the first one is maybe a no lift, which should be tough to get to the back ones. You can look at the bitting, don't look at the bitting. It doesn't really make a difference, because what you're feeling for is this one is springy. I know I had it over the left shoulder, was easier to show this with, but this is springy. I know not to pick this. This one's springy, springy, springy. I mean, you can, so springy, right? So springy. And then you get to the front, and it's not springy at all. Okay, so that way you know the first one is the one you have to pick up on. Okay, let's see if there's any ones in the back that I can just kind of preset a little, and then I'll go ahead and lift this. By preset, I mean just overcome their spools. You saw me picking off the other spools. I don't have to show every single spool, right? All right, so is that a pin? There, pin 5. a lot of counter rotation when I push on him. So I lifted him up, but I think I overset him. So I'll just drop him down like that. I felt him fall onto my pick when I let off some tension. So that's how I know he was released. Now, some counter rotation here on, I think it's 3. There we go. Or maybe this one. I think it might be 2. But a little bit on the warding is the problem. Okay, there we go. So that was 1 again to get my false set back. 2, 3, 4. It's giving a little bit of rotation, maybe. 5. Did I lose 5? Oh, all right. So everything's going way up. So that's definitely overset. Sorry, I'm rushing it. Shouldn't rush it. You'll run into problems. Just take your time feeling it. I rushed it and overset it, so I reset all my progress. All right, so pin 1 got my false set, so I didn't go after anything. So 3. I think I got 4, 5. 5 seems like it dropped some other guys though while I was doing it. 4. Go back to 1 to get my false set back. 1, 2, okay. 3 3 was, I don't know how it was kind of hung strange. 2, 3. Oh no, this is the pin here. I was in between pins. Okay, and then we're open. So very messy pick on this one, right? I wish I could have shown it to you cleaner, but the video is getting kind of long. So 5560, and that's it for the ABUS 55 series. Here, maybe you can see the sizes of the different locks. And if you haven't checked out Panda-Frog's channel, you should check it out. He's got a cool voice. And if I could suggest something, when you watch his videos, turn on the subtitles, like the closed captioning. It's hilarious. He's gonna hate me for that. But anyways, thanks. That's the ABUS 55 series. Have a good day. Bye.